Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my very special series on local queer pop stars. I'm actually going to read an official intro for this one because we got a biggie today. So, my guest today, Connor Nelson, has been recognized by Tate McRae, Conan Gray, Jessie J, and Fifi Dobson. I love Fifi, who have all recognized his undeniable talent. Most recently, I was just seeing this on your Insta. Connor's music was featured in Netflix's #1 original series, Ginny and Georgia, fierce, introducing his sound to a global audience and further solidifying his place among Canadians' rising pop stars. Connor is currently charting on Shazam. I didn't even know you could fucking chart on Shazam in multiple cities in the US and Canada, with his highest position currently at an impressive #5. Welcome, Connor.
Hey,
How
thank you
are
for
you?
having me. I'm
Oh my
good. How are
God.
you?
I'm good. I'm so happy to talk to you. I found you through a mutual friend of ours. Well, I've been doing this series of interviewing pop performers, pops. Listen, I say pop star for everybody, and I want to be mindful because I feel like, and tell me what you think about this. You can just identify as a pop star without maybe being a pop star. Like you did one show, baby, and somebody's like pop star, which I've done my whole life. But when I'm looking at your work and listening to your music, like pop star is what I would associate to you.
Thank
But
you.
how do you identify when it comes to your music?
I mean, I definitely want to be a pop star, definitely that global pop phenomenon. That's what I'm aiming for. So I'm
Yep.
glad you're getting that. Thank you.
You're welcome. How are you feeling hot off the rise or the release or the experience of your song being on, what's it called? Ginny and Georgia. What was that like? How did that happen? How are you feeling?
You know what? It was very random. I just got an email one day, and it was one of those emails where, yeah, like if you're an artist, people always reach out and they're like, "Oh, send us your music. Like we like your music." And it's usually like an automated message.
Hmm.
So I saw this one, I was like, whatever, I'll just send it over. And like here we are. I'm very grateful for it. It's been lovely to have the song get a second wind. I wrote that song when I was 17, so
Wow.
to still have so many people loving it and like connecting with it, it means so much. I'm very, very happy.
There's so many ways music can get out now. Like, you don't necessarily need anybody to open a door. Like, obviously, Netflix is a huge platform, but you're able to get it in front of people before. Obviously, that's how they can come knocking. So, you wrote it when you're
Exactly.
17. How old are you now?
I'm 23.
23. Okay. When did you start music? How did this happen?
Oh, I mean, I started singing when I was in third grade. That's when I started taking vocal lessons. As an artist, I started with that song. That was my first song. So,
Wow.
yeah, that's
Damn.
when I really
How did you
started
get it
as an
produced so
artist.
well? What the hell? When I was 17, my God, I was like sneaking into the club in Calgary. Jesus. How, yeah, okay, keep going. Sorry.
At, at the vocal studio I used to go to, there was a producer, my vocal coach's now husband. He is a producer, and so she recommended him, and that's how I started working with him, and we made that song together.
Love it. And when you say write, do you mean like you are writing the music? Like, do you play an instrument or you're collaborating with lyrics? How does that work?
Mm. So with that song, and I guess kind of almost every song I've released, um, but with that song specifically, so I had written the song and I had made a beat on Logic.
Okay.
And it was so bad, but the only thing we really kept from that was the chorus with the O's. And when I went to work with him, he had kind of given feedback, and we kind of rewrote the whole song. So that's kind of us writing together. I brought like a product, and then we just fine-tuned it together.
How do you approach like generally your songs? Is it the same process or do you have different ways?
Generally the same process now. I like to fully flesh out an idea before I go to the studio
Nice.
because my God, is it expensive. So it's just I find things get done so much faster when I have a solid idea and a concept and somebody resonates with it and we
Yeah.
can just go full throttle and create.
It's a really good point. It's expensive and you need to be prepared. I have a friend of mine who is recently on Drag Race. She wants to make music. So she reached out to me and was like, I don't know even where to start. And she's saving up money. And I was talking to another friend of mine who's a producer. And it's like, it's one idea to be a performer and be like, I want to be a pop star. I'm going to record a song and then I'll just perform it and then that's it. But there's so much that goes into like producing a solid song. And I'm trying to prepare her for like it's hard, it's collaborative, it's expensive, and it's not like your expectations have to be low, but it's such a journey to get from a concept to a finished product to performing it to having people care. Like my manager early on was like, you have to make people care because they're not just going to hear something and be obsessed with it. So when you think about like your music journey and starting and somebody who maybe listens to you and is like, I'm gonna make a song. I'm gonna go into the studio. I'm gonna be a pop star. What would you tell them?
I would definitely tell them know what you want to get out of it, understand your sound. I think that's super important. I would recommend for anybody who wants to start music and like figure out their sound, get on GarageBand, start creating random things, and really listen to the songs that you like. Because when you pay attention, you can be like, oh, I like the snare in this one, but I love the keys in this one. And those
Hmm.
little elements, you take them, and that's what's going to be your sound.
Yeah.
So really listen to why you like the music that you like.
Yeah. I was telling myself when I was going to be interviewing you today, I was like, Peter, don't make it all about when I was in my 20s. It's really hard, Connor, to like see somebody like you and not just immediately try and compare what it was like for me in my 20s and what it's like for you. It is a different kind of pop culture. And even your approach being like, I need to understand the structure of songs and the instruments, and I'm gonna create a bass line with Logic to go into the studio. I was like, I'm popular at the club. I'm just gonna like make a song. I did write. I did have poems that I wrote, and it was always collaborative. But I think growing up for me with like Britney as my thing, she didn't write. She was very manufactured. People were like, she can't sing. So my impression of pop culture was like talent. Does it really matter, or do you just need to be like a spectacle? But I think now, and you please tell me if I'm wrong, maybe growing up with different versions. I know it's sad. I know it's sad, baby. Paris Hilton and Britney. Um, that I think maybe speaks to growing up and not having gay male pop stars, actors in the media. Like it was Will and Grace, but I was already in high school when that happened. So when you're growing up in pop culture, who are you looking at? I mean, you're 23 now, but take me back to like 16 before you recorded your first song
Oh
and wrote your
God.
first song. But I want to know, like, how were you, what signals were you picking up in pop culture? Who was inspiring you? Like, what do you think about? Where do you pull inspiration from?
You know what? It's so crazy you say that. Growing up, when I started taking lessons in third grade,
Third
I
grade.
started
My God.
vocally training with like big power ballads. So I was listening to a lot of like Celine, Mariah, and Whitney, and a lot of like Stevie Wonder too. But my first kind of taste into, I guess, pop was like Avril Lavigne, Tayo Cruz,
Okay.
Dynamite. Love that
Yes.
song, Kesha. Kesha
Yes,
was
Kesha.
huge.
Love Kesha.
And then when I got my iPod and I got musical freedom to listen to whatever I wanted, I was on, I loved Tumblr. That was my jam.
Ah,
So then I got into the world of like Halsey, like Badlands released at that time, Troy
mhm.
Sivan, Blue
Ugh.
Neighborhood, very that era too. So
I'm so jealous that you got Troye Sivan. Yeah. So I guess too, like when you were in that phase, it was less about a mainstream pop artist. I mean, you me mentioned Kesha and Avril. Love Avril, by the way.
wow.
She came to like a bunch of malls in Calgary when she was first coming up, and that's where I'm from. And I chased her damn tour bus down the highway, and she pulled over. Yeah. And she like put her little head
Ally.
out the window. Yeah. We talked. I stalked her a few times, besties. So you were already like going onto the internet and finding new artists. You didn't necessarily need like a major label artist to like be pushed on you. Troye Sivan is a great example. So when you think about approaching your career, where does your sexuality come in? Like, is it a big part of it or is it like secondary?
It's not really a big part of it for me. I find it more so comes out in the concepts of the visuals, like what sometimes what I
Mm.
wear or the way that I write. Like with my EP, I have the big gloves on
Yeah.
and like I have a veil on. But I'm also just wearing like a white tank top. It's more so comes out when I'm trying to blend my masculine elements, like my masculine side, with that more feminine side.
Yeah.
That's when it comes out for me.
It's through the art. It's not necessarily like I'm gay or is that how you identify? Do you identify as gay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Troy, I saw a reel today where he was talking about Sabrina Carpenter is taking off her backing track. She's just going to do 100% live, I
Mm.
guess. And he was like, I'm not doing that. Don't expect me to do that. I love my backing tracks and I love my auto-tune mic. What's your, I saw a
Great.
video of you singing I Want to Dance with Somebody live, killing it.
Okay.
So
Thank
what's
you.
your approach to live music? Like, what do you think about artists who
Mm.
sing on top of tracks or maybe lip sync or are using an auto-tune mic live? Like, where's your mind in that?
Ooh. Honestly, I don't really care. I think art is art to each their own. But I will say, if you're gonna be like auto-tuned and like use tracks, I don't mind it. Just give me a good performance. If you're gonna
Right,
do that,
right.
run in circles,
Honey,
like do something, do a flip. I
run
don't
in
know,
circles, run in circles.
do a marathon. Like give me
Run in
something,
circles.
you know?
That's a really good point, actually. There's I would I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think every major artist who is touring around the world is using some kind of backing track. I think what we recently saw with Gaga has been almost live, but Max, who I work with my songs, was like she was performing at I think it was Coachella or maybe one like the big one on the beach. And she was doing, I can't remember what song, and baby, she was so out of breath. And Max was like, this is why it's okay to use some backing tracks. Like if you're dancing for 2.5 hours, it's okay. Gaga, we know you can sing, baby. You
Yeah.
don't need to like do it. But I wonder if there's like the mental gymnastics of like, I have to be live, I have to be live, I have to be live.
Yeah, I think I couldn't even for someone of Gaga's caliber, like, yeah, I hope she understands. Like, we know she can sing and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. So, I mean, if you're dancing and singing, like, use the tracks all you want, because we've seen her with just a piano and the
totally.
vocals.
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember the
It's
first time
incredible.
she did that with her hair bow. I'm like, wow. I had no, like at that time, pop stars were not just sitting down on the piano and singing like that. It was like, holy fuck. It was so like almost destabilizing to be like, are you supposed to be that talented? Like, what's going on? Um, when you see somebody like Gaga on that huge beach, there's like 2 million people. It was at Brazil, I think, Copacabana.
Mm.
Do you see yourself there? Like, is that the level you're striving for? Is like huge global pop star?
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about fame. Fame versus
Mm.
art. How do those live inside of you when it comes to being ambitious, writing your music, going towards the things you want?
Ooh, I mean, fame is just like I see it more so as like an opportunity to do what I love. I mean, music is all I've ever really wanted to do, and it's pretty much the only thing I'm good at. So, just being at that level gives me like an opportunity to just connect with people and be people's soundtrack for their lives, the same way like my favorite artists have been for mine. Um, and that's kind of how I see it. I'm lucky to have a wonderful family that supports me and a wonderful support system. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind of how I see it.
nice. Where are you from? Are you from Vancouver?
Yes, I'm from Tawasin, which is about half an
Oh,
hour away from
yes.
Vancouver, but
The
I live in
fairies, baby. I always wondered who lived
yes.
over there. Whenever I'm driving, I'm like, who? This is like, it's so beautiful, but it's like so far. You cross that like long bridge road thing. And yeah, anyway, I always wondered who lived there. And I guess it's you, you and your
It's me.
family.
Hey, Tawasin Reveal.
I love it. So when you are approaching art, obviously social media is a big part of how you get yourself out there, how you connect with fans and build an audience. One thing that I've heard from other artists and something I've experienced is like having an idea and then almost being forced to put it through the lens of like Instagram or TikTok to cultivate that engagement. Um, to varying degrees of success, I'm sure for lots of people. And also, you get really excited, you share it, and it's like crickets, nobody cares. How do you how do you go online and deal with the ups and downs of engagement? Like, yeah, how do you manage that? Where's your mind at when
Mm.
you're like on social media?
I think just like understanding, like for me, I've definitely been in that situation where I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna do numbers. And then it gets like 10 views. And I'm like, oh damn.
Oh
I
no.
think it's just trial and error. I think it's a true testament to something I say to myself a lot is like doing the same thing over and over is the definition of insanity.
Yep.
So if something's not, I think the beautiful thing with social media is if something flops, you have complete freedom to try something different. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you can do whatever you want. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just if this flops, try something else. Post at a different time.
Yeah.
Maybe try a different caption. Try copy someone else's caption. Like you can
Totally.
do whatever you want,
Yeah.
you know?
ChatGPT has been helping me with that with TikTok. I'm like, why isn't anybody, why do I have zero? Yeah. Why do I have zero views? Why do I keep like, I just don't understand. What time should I post? Blah, blah, blah. What hashtag should I use? Yeah, it's weird how it's kind of becoming my not counselor, but it really like calms me down. Speaking of which, AI, baby, it's coming for music. Like there are
AI.
apps, you give it prompts, and I'm like, I would 100% listen to this. I'm the fan who will ruin music because I will just be like, this is freaking awesome. What do you think about AI coming for art?
Oh, I think oh, what do I think? I mean, AI is a very, very powerful tool. I love to use it for an email. Um, but I'm a little bit scared just of the almost acceptance of it in art.
Mm,
Like I heard, okay, this could be wrong, but I heard like an AI song was submitted and eligible for an award of some kind, like one of the big
interesting.
ones. And I was just kind of like, it's AI and you're still gonna let it through the
Yeah.
door.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I have seen like a lot of my friends and family are artists in different ways. The first, I would say, rise up locally of artists who were like, you can't do that was like visual art, like using
Yes.
the prompts to create a poster or something. People were really not happy about that. And I'm like, listen. There is no way in hell people are not going to use AI. Like, if you are an independent bar and you're having a night and you have no money, you're going to use AI to make a poster. You can't afford necessarily to pay an artist. So I'm
Yeah.
sympathizing, but I'm also like, it's going to happen. I also read something that music will be the first, I guess, art form to be commercially accepted. Like, let's
Mm,
say a movie soundtrack gets nominated for a Grammy because it's so much more complicated than like doing a movie with like AI actors. So I'm curious, and you're right, like, why would we openly accept it? But capitalism, baby, they don't want to pay anybody.
yeah.
So I'm worried people like me who have like, I just want it to be catchy, right? I don't know if the average person will like bridge that gap and be like, I need to be like cognizant of if this is AI or not, especially if they're just weaving it into our lives.
Exactly. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. I cannot even like I get it, but I'm also just like we can create something humans we can create something so cool, like specifically in music. Like humans
Yeah.
can write and make something so cool, but I also get the other side of the coin, which like they want to save, everyone wants to save money.
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know
Yeah.
so yeah.
It might be easier though to like go to the studio and do stuff if it's all prompts. Another interesting thing I heard is like AI. creating new ways of experiencing music that or movies
Mm.
or anything that we haven't like we can't comprehend because we haven't gotten there yet. But they use an example of like imagine instead of listening to the song, you're having the experience of like making the song with the songwriter. And it's like this whole again, I can't really imagine how that would happen, but I'm hopeful, really trying to be optimistic that even though it will disrupt a lot of things, hopefully it opens the door for some unimaginable way of experiencing art. I hope. There has to be things that we haven't considered, right? And it will be like, holy
Yeah.
shit, like now we can express ourselves in a way that before was not even dreamed of, I guess. I hope.
Could you imagine like a 4D listening experience?
This is the thing. I
That
know.
would be
Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I know. Like it's easy to imagine a movie where you're like wearing the headset and it's like VR and you're like you are the main character of the movie. But for music, it's
Ooh.
like you would have to be, yeah, it would have to be an experience of like building the song or like the emotion is like somehow
Yeah,
inside of you. I don't know.
yeah.
And
It's have you seen there's a episode of are we allowed to say shows on here?
yes, honey, you say what you
Okay. There's a and have you seen the new season of Black Mirror?
yes.
The episode where the uh the company has like the remote and you can like select your emotion and turn up the like the feeling level of it.
Listen, that was so sad. So like
That
the
was
premise of
insane.
this story, what was happening? She was like sick or something and the wasn't it like
Yeah.
they gave her some treatment so that she would survive, but then like any product she started getting like commercials, right? And then she would
Ye-
like say the commercials. It was
She signed
so
up for YouTube ads. She
yeah,
didn't get premium.
exactly. That's what I do. Yeah, yeah, it was really, I don't know how to explain it. People will have to watch it, but there's the feature that, yeah, you turn up your emotions. Honestly, that's what drugs do. And I think, I don't know, maybe it would be better to do the electronic version. But that's totally the future, I think, is like if you had a chance to upload your consciousness or like become, I don't know, a what do they call it? Like transhuman, like you become a hybrid AI thing. I don't know.
Mm,
People are gonna do it because you'll just be able to control your emotions. I mean, I think good and bad, I guess. I don't know. It's all
yeah.
happening. Like I am so happy now I'm in my 30s because I got to experience my wild 20s and y'all are gonna be robots in like 7 years, Connor. You're
I
just
think we already are. Some of us are
well,
bionic.
like what, like you were probably on social media at what, I mean, yeah, 23. So I guess you were never,
Too
social media was
young.
always around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
robot.
Yeah, I am. You caught me.
I'm looking at your website and you have lots of events, tours coming up, tour dates. New West, Vancouver, the Birdhouse for your release show, which I wish I could come to. Oh, I might be able to. Why did I say can? Oh, I'm going to the Jan Arden concert.
Yes, that's right.
Sorry,
Period.
sorry.
Shout out to Jan. Love
Shout
you,
out to
Jan.
Jan. Yes, we love Jan. Is she somebody that you listen to often?
Often, you know what? She's on my playlist. She's
Hmm.
on my sunny. I have a playlist for every kind of weather because
Oh,
I'm
nice.
like that.
Okay.
She's on my sunny driving playlist.
I would love it. National Treasure, her and Avril. Um, you got the Catalano Festival, you're in Surrey summer concert, blah, blah, blah. How do you book these? What's your approach to getting these live gigs? Do you have somebody who's helping you? Tell me about that.
I email.
Yeah.
I will look up online, like performer wanted or like submit new music, and I just submit to everything, um, humanly possible and allowed in Vancouver.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There is a lot though. Like some of the places you're playing I had never heard of, but all of these little cities have their own festivals, so you just have to like get out there. When you go to these shows, how do you fit into the lineup of artists? Like,
Mm.
do you always stand out because you're like, I don't know, queer, or do you feel like you're very similar to the people that you're performing with?
Ooh, that's a very interesting question. I think I think I'm not familiar, like, for example, for Catalano, I am not familiar with the people that are performing on the same stage that I am, but I do think the common denominator would be that all these people and these performers fit the vibe that the event is going for. So the event's a
Hmm.
festival, and they
Hmm.
want like whether they want performers or like, a solid band, whatever the event is, even though we all might be different styles and come from different musical backgrounds, we all have something that the event organizers are looking for.
Hmm.
Um, and I guess it just depends on what they're looking for.
Yeah. Do you have your ideal audience, like family friendly versus like nightclub?
Ooh, I mean, I definitely don't think. I think my brand is pretty family friendly.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I
yeah, I would
do
say so.
swear sometimes,
Oh.
but like, oh, but I haven't really given that any thought, but I think my brand is pretty family friendly.
Totally.
But I think feel like it also could fit into like clubby, like
Yeah.
nightclubby kind of.
Well,
I think,
Birdhouse is
yeah,
nightclubby. Like that's probably
yes.
going to be like a nightclub show. Yeah, I'm really excited for your release.
Thank you.
What's the event going to be like? Can you give us any insight?
Ooh. So it's gonna be I'm going to be performing with my amazing guitar player, Shane Terry. He also releases music as well. He's a phenomenal artist, phenomenal guitar player. And we're going to be performing with, I've created live tracks and I've created visuals for the show. So I really want to kind of give the audience the experience of what my concert will be like one day at Rogers Arena. That's what we're
Yes.
going for. My friend's band is opening. They're called Three Nine Spine. Incredible band. It's just going to be a really fun, immersive show. I really want to get across the world of the EP through the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
visuals. So that's what we're aiming for, and that's what we're going to achieve.
How many songs are on the EP?
So there's 6 songs on the EP, but if any of you purchase the physical versions, there is a bonus track on the CD.
Oh, CD. What are people buying more when they buy physical music? Like I see now, like before it was records, but now CDs are more, I guess, nostalgic. What I'm sorry. What what do you yeah, what are you seeing people buying? Like when they buy physical copies of your music?
Hmm. I think I think vinyls are coming back in a huge way purely
Okay.
because of vinyl variants. I have
Oh,
literally tons of vinyls down
what
here.
is vinyl variants?
So it's like there will be different pressings of a record.
Oh,
So
yes.
yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so I think vinyls and people love to collect the variants or they like to get one variant. I think that's the beauty of vinyl, whereas CD, maybe there's like, I
Well,
think the only difference with CD I've seen is like an alternate cover,
yeah. Yeah,
whereas
yeah.
vinyls have the pressing.
Now that you mention it, my friend has like four different Mayhem um vinyls. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That album was so good. Is so
So good.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Shadow of a Man, I need tattooed into my bloodstream.
Ooh, I think my favorite is Garden of Eden and Vanish Into You.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
when I heard
Vanish
Vanish,
into you, beautiful.
it is so good. It is so good. And when she sings it live, she just hits that note like instantly. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, such a good album. I think it would be my favorite. Okay, Red Mountain Light. Tell me, what does that mean? What's the Red Mountain Light?
So, Red Mountain Light, it's there's a red mountain. No, I'm just kidding. When I was a kid, my parents we always used to drive to my grandparents' place. They live about 4.5 hours away. Um, and on the drive up, a lot of the times we would be driving at night. So I'd see all these red mountain lights and stuff like that. And I always thought it would be I always wanted to incorporate it in music in some way, but I
Hmm.
never really knew how. I never really
Yeah.
knew how. And then I wrote this song, Eaten from the Inside, which comes out with the EP.
Mm.
And in it, I wrote, not even thinking about it, I wrote the line uh, like the bridge goes like, uh, and I end up eaten from the inside out while I bleed on your hands, on your sheets. I just stare at the ceiling, incapable of feeling a pulse or a beat, just a shell of a being, a phantom of me. It's all that you see of this lone red mountain light that blinks for you every night. I will
Oh,
guide you and take you home with none to call my own. And I realized when I wrote that, I felt like those little mountain lights, I felt like that like in a lot of people's lives. Like I felt this little light in the background, just like blinking and letting people know that I'm still here. Like,
oh,
hey, um, and that's kind of and what I was looking for all along. Like in the artwork, it's glowing from within me, so it's also kind of like what I was looking for in other people is like within myself. So that's kind of what it means to
I
me.
love that you ask like an artist about the title of their album and it's like a 45-minute TED Talk. I totally get it though. Is like this is how it is when you're creative. Like something sticks in your mind and it just ends up meaning so much. And when you share it
Yeah.
with people, there was a song that I was writing with my co-writer called Damien. It's about falling in love with the devil. And I wrote a line I think it was Muse's Creep. Muse's Creep. It was something. And he's like, "What the fuck is Muse's Creep?" And it was like had this whole story about like the things that are inspiring to you turn evil, and then they like stalk you and they like come for you. And he was like, "That makes no sense, Peter." But like these things that are so specific that live inside your brain. Okay, really excited for the EP. When you are thinking about dream collabs, who would be the number one? Like, gun to your head. Oh, that's a bad thing to say. If you had to decide right now, which, and please make it a pop star that I know, dear God.
Oh,
Actually,
okay.
no, you don't have to do that. Don't follow my rules. You just decide.
Okay. I have two. I have two. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be that girl.
Yeah.
SZA
Okay.
and Troye Sivan.
That's a good one. Troye
How about
Sivan.
you?
Oh my God. Oh God. It's okay. I listen. I keep showing this in interviews, but people don't need, they just need to know. And I have Oops, I Did It Again tattooed on my arm. So, like, a huge Britney fan, but I don't want to meet her. I don't want to be around her. It would
Mm.
be disappointing. Oh my God. Robin,
Oh, good
Robin,
choice.
Robin,
Wow.
Robin once described, when she was writing super poppy music, she said it's all about how you get to the chorus. And she wrote
Hmm.
Dancing on My Own. There's a clip where she was like, I was living in Stockholm. It was the winter. It was super dark and I was partying and I was with all these people. And she just made the song come alive. And I feel like she's a really good blend of like traditional pop, but high concept. And she like
Mm.
blends genres. So yeah, I would probably pick her. What do you think of drag? Do you watch Drag Race?
Yes.
Okay. I've worked with a lot of those girls and a lot of the when they start making music, they always say the same thing. I don't want to do drag. I don't want to do drag queen music. I'm a real pop star. Priyanka was like that's her whole thing. Like I am not. But you are like you are a drag queen and you are doing music and it's about the wigs and all that stuff. So tell me what you think about queens who come off of Drag Race and start releasing music.
Mm. You know what? I will first say this. I do not do drag.
Mhm.
I think it's like a little weird for me to like have an opinion on
Oh.
that. But what I will say
Mm.
is to each their own. Like there are
Yeah.
queens who are vocally trained, and there's queens who love music, and there's queens who are incredible writers. I mean, Aja, the
Yeah.
Virgo Queen,
Yeah.
those are some of the Michaela
Trixie.
Couture,
Okay.
Trixie,
Yeah.
incredible. Um, I think to each their own. I
Yeah.
think everyone, that's the beauty of it. Everyone has their own style and something to bring to the table. Um, and I say more power to you, you
That
know?
is the nicest answer. I was not expecting that. That's so great. Wow. I feel like yes, you're right. Like there is Adore Delana released Sharon Needles and Adore Delana were like the first ones I remember and they were amazing pop songs. Like they were simple, they were to the point. It was very similar to what I was listening to at the time. I feel like personally the trap is like trying to like separate from the drag thing is like I'm not doing drag music because as soon as you do that, in my opinion, you're just overcomplicating making music and letting people listen to it. I also respect that you were like, I'm not a drag queen and I don't want to comment. That's not me. I can't believe that. That was so peaceful.
Well, it's funny that you mention that because I personally feel like that's like a overarching thing with just queer music in general. I feel like
Mm,
it's very personally, I feel like people a lot of the times when they think queer music, they almost think of it as a joke and they don't really take it seriously just because it's queer music.
yeah.
You know?
So
Like we can write too.
well, this is why, like my own biases, when I listened to your music for the first time, I'm like, this is so good. It's so polished, it's so professional. Because there is still something inside of me that expects every queer artist to be, making like the way I did it. I made music with my friends in their house, recording in the closet. It was super campy. We just wanted to have fun. So it's like a nice surprise and also challenges that idea that you have about like queer music as a joke, or it's all about like being camp or like partying or sex. Um, and it isn't, but there's still like there's categories on Spotify. It's like out and proud or whatever. And it's like it's good that we are the alternative is there's no space. And I think now we have a space, but I think like artists like you will just, you are just being yourself and you're just sharing your music and your art. And I think people can see your work and they will decide what they want to about your sexuality or your gender identity. And it's less about that as the foundation. You're just an artist first. But that has to happen. And then the generation that comes after you will be even less so. So, yeah, it's true. We're not jokes. Like the music, some of it is.
Yeah.
Some of it is like some of my songs, baby. I'm like, is that a song? I don't know. Like, I like it.
But
But
I
yeah,
mean, that's the beauty of music. It's
totally.
just we're having fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what music's all about. You gotta have fun,
Yeah.
you know?
What's your favorite choice of on song?
Wow. Wow. Very, ooh. Okay, let me. Okay, ooh. Plum. Plum.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
love that. So what's yours?
Lost Boy was the first one I really, really loved. My ex-boyfriend sent me a video of him like hula hooping to that song. It was really weird. And I was like, well, who is this like singer? And it was Troye Sivan. That was the first one I really like. Now, the one I listen to the most is Got Me Started. That fucking video, bitch. When he
Insane.
when
You got
he
me on it.
ah!
Yeah.
When he's on the building and he's fucking dancing around and doing those moves, I just, it makes me so
Yes.
happy. I love him so much. It's like, and Rush, like the first shot of that guy smacking his ass, I'm like, this is what I need in my life, needed and currently need. So I love that he like, is crossing that bridge of like, teen pop person to like, I'm doing poppers and probably having sex and doing drugs. I'm like, I'm here for that. Okay, we only have less than a minute. First of all, thank you for coming.
Oh,
But
thank you
I,
for
I,
having
I
me.
asked you this earlier, but what would your advice be to, somebody who's 15, 16 listening to this and also wants to go be a big star? You already said, know what you want, have a clear
Mm.
idea, but is there anything else you would say to set them up?
I would say believe in yourself because this industry is going to literally, you're going to get tons of no's. No, 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 no. You're going to get 100 no's and one yes. So you need to believe in yourself. You need to have thick skin. No matter what people say, trust your gut, trust your intuition because it's always right. If you believe in it, you can do it.
Wow. That was good.
Sorry, that was a little
Holy
passionate.
moly. Yeah, baby, you got it. Okay, I'm gonna take that.